media, and you talk about the time that we spend here on Wednesday nights and how informative and what a blessing it is to you. And I thank you so much for joining. As you come in tonight, please let me know where you are watching from, where you're joining me from tonight. And I know we're going to have a tremendous time tonight. Going to share something very special with you, and I know it's going to bless you real good. Well, I want to also say to you that there's a very special event that's going to take place that's coming up, and that's April 21st at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a free time of the Ministry of the Evangelist with Pastor Dennis Martin, when I'm going to be sharing. We're working on doing it where we can also have it for those of you that are not in the local area, where you'll be able to possibly view it or come on and view, because in this session, people will get a chance to ask questions. Now, listen, it's very important that you do this. Go to my website, dlmartin.org, and on the first page, click for April 21st for the free time of ministry training. I need you to click it, and then I need you to go and fill out the form, register. The only thing I need is your name and your email address. It's important that you register, because that's the way you'll know the final information of what this will entail. And so if you do that, even if you're out of town, please do that. And those of you especially that are local, do that, because we're going to have this time. There's some things that we don't get a chance to share here on the live stream, but we will get a chance to share it with you on the in person or on the feed that's direct. There's some questions that you may want to ask that, we get a chance to answer those questions in another setting, a setting that maybe it needs to be dealt with in a different way. And so I want you to go right now. Don't hesitate. Go do it, or write the website down, dlmartin.org. Go register so you'll be able to get in on April 21st. It's going to be an awesome time. I'm going to spend about 2.5 hours sharing, and all subjects. We're going to cover everything. We're going to cover some things that will bless you. Those of you that are starting as an evangelist or starting in ministry, you need to be with us. Those of you that are moving from evangelist to pastor, you need to be with us. Those of you that you may be pros, you've been in it a long time, but you need to be refreshed. I want you to be with us. So don't forget, go sign up now at dlmartin.org and sign up for April 21st. Well, let's get started tonight. I want to share with you. Thank you so much. I see you coming in. I want to share with you tonight something that I believe will bless you. And we're not going to take long to do this. But in 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10, it simply says these words: "Wherefore, the brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail." I want to talk to you tonight, those of you that are in ministry. I want to talk to you about staying focused. Many times we get off focus and we lose our focus, and we're so often looking at others and trying to emulate and copy others. But I want to say to you that we have to stay focused and make our calling and election sure. We've got to make sure that what we're doing, that we do it knowing that what we're supposed to do, that we do it for Him. God has called us, and He took His time to call you and to anoint you. And then some of you been to school and you qualified yourself. You studied to make yourself approved. You studied to make yourself approve, a workman that need not be ashamed. And you've done all the things that you needed to do those things. And so now what I need you to do is to stay focused. Sometimes we're so busy looking at other people's houses and what they're doing that we lose our focus on what we're supposed to do. So I want to encourage you to stay focused tonight. Focus. Get your sight back and get back to what God called you to do, what He has anointed you to do. You don't have to do what others are doing to be successful, because God knows what group you need to touch. He knows who you need to minister to. He knows what He's called you to do. He already knows His plan for your life, my life. So He already knows that. So since God already knows the plan that he has. All we have to do is connect to God. And I heard someone put our ear to the mouth of God and let God speak to us, direct us. Then we're going to be able to do the things we need to do for him. And so I want to encourage you to stay focused in this day. I see so many that have lost focus. And when you lose focus, you really lose touch. And not only touch, but you sort of lose what you're supposed to be doing. And you get discouraged because things are not happening for you. But if you would follow God and his plans, God's plans never fail. He said you'll never fail. If you make your calling and election sure, if you stay focused, you will never fail at what God has called you to do. And what seems like a failure to others is a success because it's what God called you to do. And it's also what you're doing for his purpose. You know, the only time you can say something is a failure is if it does not do what it was created to do. In other words, if you had an axe and you were chopping and it wouldn't chop wood, then it has failed. If you had a knife that did cut, it has failed. If you had a gun that never, when you shoot it, pull the trigger, it never shoots, then it has failed because it was created to fire a bullet. It was created. A knife was created to cut. A car was created to run. And so if you're doing what God called you to do, if you notice, even with cars, every car is not the same. But if that car gets you from point A to B to C to D, if it does what it was created to do, no matter what the name is, whether it's Mercedes or BMW or whatever it is, Toyota, whatever it is, if it does what it was created to do, then it is successful. So if you are doing what God called you to do, and you know it's God, then you are a success in what he's called you to do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. You are a success at what God has called you to do. And so I want to encourage you tonight to stay focused. Don't let the enemy cause you to miss it. You know, as I talk to preachers around the country and some that talk to me, they said, Pastor Martin, I'm just so discouraged that I just don't feel like going on. I feel like doing something else. And I believe so many, if they had some other occupation they could do or were schooled in, they would do it. Many of them, they said, I just can't do it anymore. I'm going to give up. But I want to encourage those of you, keep pressing, hang on in there. Don't give up, knowing that if I stay focused, I'm going to get where God wants me to be. And understand that I keep saying this, the world is so big. Everyone is not looking for the same thing. Everyone's not looking for a carbon copy, a carbon copy of somebody else's ministry. They're not looking for that. There are people that are looking for something different, unique, and God has made all of us different and unique in our own ways. That's why there's some that can sing, there's some that don't sing. That's why you've got some that sing country, some that sing, everything is different. Everyone is not the same. No one is the same. No ministry is the same. There are those that preach about certain things. That's their calling. That's their ministry. And you just have to make your calling and election sure. You've got to say to yourself, I've got to stay focused on the task at hand. One of the things that I think when I look at it in my life that happened to me is whenever I would get off focus and start looking at others, I found myself being discouraged. I found myself just sort of being out of it and saying to myself, well, what am I doing? And then God had to really deal with me one time, and he said, I've called you to do this and you are successful. How do you know you are successful? When people start saying to you, what you did blessed me. You just don't know I was at the end, but what you did blessed me, and my life will never be the same. That's when you know. That's when you know. That's when you know what's going on with you. That's when you start understanding that there's something going on here, and God is blessing me, and people are being blessed. Because what good would it be for you just to have a voice or a platform and no one be blessed? That's why we have to stay focused, because people are being blessed. Every Monday night, I do this on Wednesday, of course, here at the Ministry of The Evangelist with Pastor Dennis Martin. But every Monday night, I do a thing called Just Checking on You. check in Monday. And this past Monday, someone after I talk about checking in and challenged them to check on someone this week, and I did a prayer, and someone immediately inboxed me and also messaged my daughter and said, I praise God for your father. And they said to me, I praise God for you. You have just prayed, and the thing I was going through, you prayed, and I feel renewed. I feel strengthened. I feel so encouraged because the stuff I was going through, you just prayed it. Now, if I would looked at the numbers that were watching at the time of the live, and there were those that watched after it, but if I'd looked at the numbers of those at the time of the live, it wasn't 400 people watching. It wasn't 300 people watching. But those that were watching, God had me to do that for somebody that was watching that needed to hear it. So if one person or two people get touched, that means a lot. As I was praying, a lady came on. She said, you prayed for me 30 years ago and the Lord healed me. Someone else came on and said, you've encouraged me. So when you think of it like that, then you understand that it's encouragement to someone, and you keep doing what you're supposed to do and don't lose focus. Yeah, right. Correct. Just stay focused. I never forget one Sunday I was ministering at church, and wasn't a lot of people there this particular Sunday, but the Lord had me to pray for a lady. And when I was praying for the lady, the Lord showed me grass around her feet. And, sometimes the Lord shows you stuff like that. And I don't wear the title prophet, but I do deal in that gift, in that area. And God deals with me the word of wisdom, word of knowledge, and stuff like that. And so as I looked at her, God showed me grass around her feet. I said, I don't know what this means. But the Lord said there's grass growing around your feet, and it seemed like you're stuck. And I began to pray for her and prayed, and the Lord broke her. And she came back to our service not too long after that. And she said to me, Pastor Martin, you just don't know. She said, when you prayed for me, my mother had just died, and I had just sort of just stopped doing everything. I had some other ventures that I was doing, some business things and other stuff. She said, and I just sort of cut everything and just sort of stopped. She said, but when you prayed for me, she said, the Lord touched me and I felt renewing. I felt strength. She said, and all the places I'd been, no one saw it. But when I came here, the Lord let you see that. And she's been on the go ever since. What I'm saying that to say this, not for pat on the back or not for browning points. I'm saying that to say this. If you stay focused on what you're supposed to do, then God will use you. And the main key that you need to understand is not trying to get followers and not trying to get a name for yourself. That's the wrong purpose. That's the wrong motive if that's what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is make sure that I'm in position that when God uses me, somebody's life will be blessed, touched, and changed. That's what we're here for. That's why you got to stay focused, because somebody will be touched, their life will be changed. I get emails, I get texts, I get things all the time. Says, you just don't know, that word you gave blessed me. Looked like you were sitting in my living room. Looked like you were on my phone call. That's what blesses me. That's why I have to stay focused, because you have to understand, and I'm closing this tonight. You have to understand that God does not anoint you for you. He does not anoint me for me. We are anointed for other people. We are anointed for somebody else. That's why we have to stay focused. This anointing is not for us to walk around and act wonderful and great and in some cases be nasty and act like we all that. That's not why we're anointed. We're not anointed to take Jesus' place. We're not anointed to take Jesus' place. We're not anointed. So, no, that's not why we're here. Jesus, he took care of all his own stuff. We are here to help people, to minister to people. And if we are not doing that, and that's not our objective, our goal, our motive, then we're actually doing the wrong thing. We're supposed to be helping people, ministering to people, causing their life to be different. And so I want to challenge you, stay focused. Whatever you do, don't give up. Don't get weary in well doing. In due season, you're going to reap if you faint not. Hang on in there. Hold on. Say to yourself, everything's going to be all right. I'm staying focused If you're a pastor, stay focused. If you're an evangelist, stay focused. If you're a missionary, stay focused. If you're a bishop, stay focused. Whatever you're doing, stay focused on your calling. Your calling. Make your calling and election sure. Do what you're supposed to do and you'll never fail. If you learn to be yourself, nobody can beat you being you. Nobody can beat you doing what you do. If you be yourself, you're going to find that you don't have to chase after people. I don't have to be anybody else. I thank God that he made me who I am. I don't have to be another person, even though other people I may look up to and like. There's some things I may do like them, but not everything, because I got my own way of doing things. And you have to understand that that's what you got to focus on. You got to say to yourself, I'm going to be me. And if you be you, you're going to find that there's something unique about you. If you're a preacher, sometimes you don't even have a voice for tuning up, but you're a great teacher. Just teach. You ain't gotta do that. Just teach. Do what you do. And I guarantee you somebody's going to be there to hear you, and you're going to bless somebody's life. Well, I pray and trust that this has blessed you tonight. It's Wednesday. I got to get out of here. I know we talked about not having this Wednesday, but I had to share this with you. And I'm grateful that you joined me. So many of you that have joined me, thank you so much for joining me on tonight. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. Oh, my God, I thank God for you. Now, next Wednesday is going to be very special. We're going to be sharing. I want you to meet me. Be here next Wednesday night. And then those of you can join me on Monday night for Check-In Monday. Do that. I'm here on Monday nights. But I want you to, by all means, go and click on the subscribe button, that whenever I go live, you'll be able to get and be a part of what we're sharing. And I thank you again for your encouragement. Thank you for so many of you that I hear from, that I've heard from, so many of you that I see even in the conventions. And you said, we watch you every week. Sometimes I didn't even know you were watching, but thank you for watching. Thank you for your encouragement. I believe that God is getting ready to bless us. I want you to know that your best days are in front of you and not behind. Those of you that want to be a blessing to the work of the Lord, their information is on the screen. You can do that and be a blessing, and I would appreciate it so much. The Lord bless you and the Lord keep you is my prayer. Until next Wednesday, or until you join me Monday night, either Monday or Wednesday, I'm looking forward to sharing with you. The Lord bless you and the Lord keep you. Remember this, our best days are in front of us and not behind.